Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we're Backyard Musings, Apple Valley, California.
Indoors today, and we are the Science and Technology Channel.
Okay, some trees don't just survive lightning, they thrive on it. Scientists studying Panama's tropical forests have discovered the Dipteryx oleifera trees often benefit from lightning strikes that devastate their neighbors. These resilient giants lose harmful parasitic vines, gain access to light, and even increase their reproductive success after getting zapped. Maybe I should do that. Getting hit with millions of volts of electricity might sound deadly, but for some trees, it's surprisingly beneficial. A new study published March 26, 2025, in New Phytologist finds that certain tropical tree species not only survive lightning strikes, but may actually gain an advantage from them. In fact, the research suggests these trees could be specially adapted to attract lightning, acting almost like natural lightning rods. Would you like to know more?
This is crazy.
Yep.
The study, first of all, when you think about electricity, right? Wood is not a transfer of electricity. So how does it transfer? Through
Right.
these.
Well, they tell you don't, when it's a storm, don't get under the tree. They tell you that.
Well, I know, but that's because it's a tall object. But when you see somebody that's been electrically shocked or laying on a power line, what do they tell you to do? If you need to move that person, go get a long, like a two
Yeah.
by four,
Don't touch them. Get
a
like a
long,
pole or something.
right? Because it doesn't, electricity doesn't uh, transfer through wood. But anyway, so this is great. Yeah, kind of crazy. The study was led by Evan Gora, a forest ecologist at the Carey Institute of Ecosystem Studies, who investigates how lightning shapes biodiversity and carbon storage in Panama's tropical forests. Lightning strikes kill hundreds of millions of trees globally each year. But in 2015, while conducting fieldwork in Panama, Gora and his colleagues noticed something unusual. A Dipteryx oleifera tree that had survived a lightning strike with minimal damage, even though the blast was powerful enough to blow a parasitic vine out of its canopy and kill over a dozen nearby trees. So yeah, that's
That would have
crazy.
been something to see.
It would
Yeah.
have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So he says, quote, seeing that there are trees that get struck by lightning and they're fine was just mind blowing, Gora recalled. Over time, the team encountered other Dipteryx oleifera trees thriving after getting hit, so they decided to take a closer look. Scientists had previously suspected that some trees evolved to tolerate lightning, but evidence to back it up was lacking. In 2022, Gora and colleagues demonstrated for the first time that trees differ in their ability to survive getting hit by lightning. Their new paper, published this past Wednesday, is the first to show that trees can benefit from these electric jolts.
it's, it's That's crazy. Is that the only tree? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
Just
the only one that's been observed.
yep, fascinating. Using a unique lightning location system, the team tracked the outcomes of 93 trees that have been struck by lightning in Barro, Colorado Nature Monument in central Panama. For 2 to 6 years after the strike, the team measured tree survival rates, crown and trunk condition, number of parasitic vines or is that lianas, and
Yeah.
neighboring tree mortality. The study included 9 directly struck Dipteryx oleifera trees and compared them with 84 other trees that have been struck.
All 9 Dipteryx trees survived direct lightning strikes with only minor damages. In contrast, directly struck trees of other species were badly damaged, losing 5.7 times more leaves from their crowns, and 64% died within 2 years.
When each Dipteryx tree was zapped, an average of 9.2 neighboring trees were killed as the electricity traveled between adjoining vines and touching branches or jumped across small gaps between trees. Lightning strikes also reduced Dipteryx liana infestations by 78%, freeing trees from some of the pressure these parasitic vines have on light and nutrient availability.
These patterns also bore out across the broader population. The team found that Dipteryx trees tend to have fewer lianas. Analyzing trends in tree death over the past 40 years, the researchers found that trees neighboring Dipteryx trees were 48% more apt to die, wow, than other trees in the forest, likely because of lightning.
Using drones, Gora and colleagues created 3D models of canopy height, which showed that Dipteryx trees tend to be about 4 meters taller than their nearest neighbors, likely because lightning killed their taller neighbors, giving them an advantage in competing for light and space.
Quote, these data provide the first evidence that some trees benefit from being struck by lightning, the authors write, or as Gora puts it, it's better off for a Dipteryx oleifera tree to be struck than not. Because of all these benefits, Dipteryx oleifera trees may be specially adapted to attract lightning. With their distinctive height and unusually wide crowns, they may be up to 68% more likely to get electrocuted than other trees with average height and crowns, according to the team's calculations.
Estimates suggest individual Dipteryx oleifera trees are directly hit by lightning every 56 years on average. And since the trees can live for hundreds or possibly more than 1,000 years, they expected to survive these blasts many times throughout their lives. During the study, one of the Dipteryx trees was struck twice in just 5 years. A remarkable ability to survive lightning strikes and benefit from the removal of lianas and competitors gives Dipteryx trees a major advantage over other trees. According to the scientists, calculations, lightning tolerance boosts the species' ability to produce offspring by 14 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next, the team aims to investigate what electrical or structural traits allow these trees to survive lightning strikes. They would also like to explore whether other species show lightning tolerance to better understand how common this phenomenon is.
What is clear is that lightning plays an unappreciated role in tree competition, and with lightning on the rise in many regions due to climate change, its influence may increase, potentially favoring lightning-tolerant species like the Dipteryx oleifera. Understanding lightning and its role in shaping forests may be important for predicting changes in biodiversity and carbon storage, and for informing tropical reforestation efforts. This research was supported by grants from the National Science Foundation. So
something that we didn't write in this segment, but it was in the report. I thought I put it, but I didn't. These trees in Panama are used for their nuts, their delicious fruits, and it's a hardwood tree that it's used for furniture and that kind of stuff. So this isn't just like, your random tree out there. That it's a tree that's a valuable tree for an ecosystem.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting story.
Very interesting. All right, folks, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.